Right. So one of the things that we enabled is mixed races in multiplayer servers, which, from what I hear, everybody is pretty impressed and amazed by the whole situation. We did a couple of races for demonstration, and it was pretty amazing. You saw me sweating like a pig from top to bottom into such a race, trying to drive the Zinetta to the limit. Um, but one of the most important things that I believe that we all have to learn and get better is how to deal with traffic in mixed races. Okay, so because of that, Gergo has made an amazing race. At the same race when I was racing the Zinetta, Gergo had took the Aston Martin GT3 car and found a lot of traffic, had some amazing moments of overtaking and traffic and everything. And he very kindly gave me his replay and asked me to showcase it and have an analysis so that everybody can learn. We can learn from our errors. You can learn from your errors, mistakes, and get better, because it is a pretty new situation for all the sim racers that are racing with Sottocorsa Competizione. So, um, without further ado, let's go to the gallery and load his replay. Here we are. Okay. Hey, Alpha, come on. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you, mate. Okay, so let's go inside. Yeah, okay. So what I want to show you here. So this is Gergo driving. He has a GT3 car. Um, we all know Gergo, extremely fast driver, and he's into a mixed server with the GT3s and GT4 cars. And after the seventh lap, somewhere around the eighth lap, he starts to make us, to find the traffic from the GT4 cars, and so a lot of overtake is happening. So what I would like to check is and show you is how to deal with traffic. Both the good things that Gergo is doing, both the bad things that or some mistakes that Gergo might be doing, and also the good and the bad things that the GT4 drivers are doing while they are all inside the same server. Okay, so toggle this. You can see more or less where we are. Also, it won't be much of a help right now. So the GT3 cars are moving ahead. Move a little bit farther. And somewhere around here, yes, you can see the first GT4 car. Now, as you can see, the blue flags are already, waving for the GT4 car. First comment I want to say. Now, it's true that the GT3 cars are lapping GT4s. But the GT4s are a different category, and they are already in their own fights and their own duels. So the first thing that you, as a GT3 driver, have always to think is that you cannot pretend that they just disappear from your road. Okay, they are there because they are fighting, they're dueling, they are having their own race. And the great thing, and everybody has to understand this, is that we can do those races all together, and it is even more exciting. But to be exciting and enjoyable for everybody, everybody has to respect each other. That's the number one thing that we always have to keep in mind and think about it. Okay? Okay, so let's go. Ciao, Mirko. Now, as you can see here, remember this. GT3 cars in fast bends can catch the GT4 cars in, like, when you see them on the horizon, in 2 or 3 turns, you have catch them and you have probably overtaken them. So remember this, on fast bends, because of the amazing downforce and much more grip at higher speeds, the GT3 cars are even faster than what you think from the GT4 cars. The thing is exactly the opposite, or almost the opposite, on long straights or very slow turns. On long straights, the GT4 cars have much better, have much less aerodynamic resistance, and so, especially the more powerful cars, they can accelerate up to 250 kilometers per hour in almost a similar way as the GT3 cars, which means that you won't catch them as easy on long straights. And on very slow straights, still the GT3 cars have much more grip, but their aerodynamic advantage is not so big anymore. So again, you will catch them, you will be faster, but not so much as in fast bends. Look at what happens here in this fast bend. So you can see, already caught him, overtook him, done, finished. Now, very rightfully, the BMW, went aside and didn't protect my line, didn't do anything. But that's a specific situation here because the GT4 car was alone. Now we're coming closer to more traffic. So now we are approaching a slow turn with the GT3 cars and many GT4 cars. So let's see what happens. You can see a Ginetta. Ginetta is very fast on the turns. I won't say as fast as the GT3 cars, but its approach. So you can see, now, this is interesting here. Okay, so let's move one car ahead, if we can. I don't know if we can make it. So let's go here and see from closer what happens. So the Ginetta went a little bit wide, okay, and then closed the line. You see, now the Ginetta here has, he's doing something wrong. Now, if you really watch him, what he's doing, he's trying to go to the inside. Okay. Now, at some point, he will understand, okay, that's not possible here. He's too close to me, so he will go outside. But that mentality that I see many people, they have someone behind them that they are about to lap them. And what they're trying to do always is exit the corner as soon as they can. They try to go into the inside. This is one of the worst things you can do in racing. Okay. Why? Because if you're trying to go into the inside, it means that you are going to have a much lower exit speed because you are trying to turn even more than what you need. And obviously you cannot, so you have to lift your accelerator to go inside. Or if you keep, accelerating, you're going to be, you might have oversteering problems, which will make your car lose the balance and might be a risky situation. On the other hand, the car that follows, GT3 or GT4, doesn't matter, tries to be as fast as possible on the exit to get your slipstream and then move away and overtake you. If while the car is trying to exit as fast as possible, you stop in front of him because you try to go into the inside, it's the worst thing you can do, practically. You ruin the race for both of you and you put both of you in a very, very risky situation. So let's see that again. Now, look at him, how he goes on the outside here, okay, because he's not really sure what to do, okay. He thinks that, okay, this one is away and probably saw the blue flags and tries to go outside. All fine here. And then he changes his mind and tries to go in this inside. You see, he's not pointing towards the outside of the turn. He's trying to go on the inside. This is wrong. Now, fortunately for him and for the GT3 car, he understands this, you see, and now instantly changes his steering wheel and tries to go on the outside. But the GT3 already is full on brakes because otherwise he would, punt him. And there's no other way to do about this. So no, that wasn't me, luckily, but I have my share of errors. Yeah. So this is a clear example of what not to do. Okay. So uh, don't try to go on the outside. Don't try to go on the inside. Exit the turn as fast as you can. Stay on your line. The GT3 cars behind you are so fast, so much faster than you, and have the whole vision of what is happening because they are approaching to you. They should choose what to do. And if you watch it again, you will see how the GT3 had already chosen to go into the inside, but at some point it had to brake. It had to stop because otherwise it would be very, very risky. You see, already knows he's going towards the inside. He's flashing. He just wants, to have this space open, and that's it. Now brake and he's going to the other way because he understood. Luckily enough for him, he was good enough with good reflexes that okay, I'm doing something wrong. Let me go to the outside. All right. So let's go back. Gergo. Now Gergo here's another thing. Now Gergo sees the whole situation and understands, okay, we have an opportunity here, and tries to overtake. Okay. But it's so hard to enter here, so he abandoned. Okay, and he maintained his position, not putting into big risk everybody. So look at the Camaro. Stays outside, no issues at all for everybody. GT3 cars are already away. GT3 cars continue. Now I might be this one, that's the net over there. I stay outside, you see, and everybody can go in. Probably way too much here, but I was away from the other races. If I was that guy, I don't remember, and there wasn't an issue. Again, BMW, no problem, stays outside. Look at how late the GT3 car can brake in comparison to the BMW, right? Now, obviously, if you have a GT4 car and the GT3 is side by you on the braking zone, I mean, don't push your luck. Don't brake as hard as you can. Maybe release a little bit earlier. You will also have the opportunity to do your line without problems because the GT3 cars will be already passed over you without issues. Okay. So, you see, there are things here to understand. Gergo was about to gain a position in the GT3 car, but he abandoned the idea. Now, one thing to remind you, it is very, very important. Now, it's true that the GT3 cars are in a fight, okay? But if you are in a mixed server, you're gonna have so much traffic. It's virtually impossible that the guy that you are, going after won't have his own share of problems and you won't be able to catch him again. And you will see that in a minute. So he's already behind him again. And he's trying, to get closer and closer. But we are approaching again another Camaro. Stays outside. Gergo went a bit too much on this side, but he's already passed. No problems again. Now, more traffic. More traffic. Now here it becomes obviously interesting because look at how many cars we have in front of us. So let's have a look what's going to happen here. Now look at the Audi, okay? Now the Audi is chasing the other cars. He remains on the line. Now, you might be nervous. You might think that, oh, he should have gone, on the other side, whatever. Every car has all the rights to stay on the correct line. It's your responsibility as a driver of a faster car or as a driver that is the same car but wants to overtake, it doesn't matter, to find a different line to overtake. The guy in front of you has every right to stay on the correct line. The responsibility is always on the car behind to try and find, a different line to overtake or a different opportunity. So obviously, don't try and defend every time when it doesn't matter. Okay, but you still have to understand you are on a GT3. You're so much faster than these guys. Those guys are 3, 4 in a fight, in a duel. You cannot pretend that they will just disappear to let you pass. All right, so respect the GT4 cars and find a different. You have a car that has so much more grip that it's all on you to find a way on how to overtake them. Okay, so let's see right away what happens here. You see the GT3 in front, cuts on the inside, already overtaken. Now notice how the GT4 car accelerates pretty fast, so keep always that in mind. Again, you see, inside, Gergo has to wait. Now, that Zinetta here, okay, was very kind to go to the outside and let him go. But if he wanted to stay on the line because he didn't want to lose any time from the yellow Audi in front of him, no problem. He could have done that, and he could have done exactly that and be extremely right. No problems at all. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what happens, in that situation. So that's the situation. And you can notice here again what we said before. Gergo has to abandon the attack and wait. No other way to deal with it. So look at this. So his opponent goes away, and Gergo, he cannot pass, so he has to wait. He cannot, attack. He has to wait. Remember what I told you before. Even if your opponent, the other GT3 guys, goes away and the gap becomes wider, don't worry too much about it. Why? Because look at how many GT4 cars we have in front of us. At some point, this guy will also have its own share of problems, and you will be able to catch him again. If not here, on the next lap or on the lap after. So always think that. If you see, okay, if it's last lap, obviously you're gonna try whatever you can. But if you're in the middle or the start of the race, okay, and you see that the car in front of you moves away and gets some gap over you, don't go berserk, don't go nuts, don't try everything to stay close to him. Inevitably, at some point, he will have problems that you won't, and you will catch him again. So this is what happens with the mixed racers. So if you keep that in your mind, you will be a safer driver. You won't take unnecessary risks to go and catch him. Okay. Now look at, as we're approaching the very fast bends, how the GT3 cars are so much faster. Now again, Gergo has to wait for the Audi, goes on the outside and already overtook him, just like that. So you have to explore different lines. Don't worry about it. Your car is so much faster. Okay. Now again, we arrive here. Look at, now this is very important. This is an extremely important move from Gergo. So, we are still far away from the McLaren, but we do know that our car is much faster than the McLaren GT4 in the following bend, because it's a GT3, it's so much faster. Now watch how Gergo goes behind to get the slipstream, but way before the braking point moves to the inside and makes his car visible on the McLaren. He makes him understand that, you know what, I'm going for it. So think about it, I'm going for it. Look at me, I'm here on the inside. I will go for it, okay? Thank you so much, Timinovsky, for the follow. So look again his move. Following, moving outside, clear, you see, and goes in. Now, some of you might say, oh, but that's a dive bomb. Well, yes, it is, because with a GT3 car, you can dive bomb. You can dive bomb. If you make yourself clear to the guy in front of you, you can dive bomb him so much better, and it's a clean pass, It's a clean overtake, because the guy actually does expect the dive bomb, because the only thing that the GT4 car wants to see is you dive bombing and going away, so that he can get back to his line and be fast again. So a proper GT4 driver expects the dive bombing, because he knows that that is what is going to happen. It's inevitable. Let's watch how Gergo now overtakes the BMW GT4 here. See? Now, look at that. He wasn't so sure what to do. Okay. So Gergo here was a little bit on, not really decided what to do. Should I go inside? Should I go outside? Now, that's a very clever, if not maybe optimal, but a very clever decision from Gergo here. So he understands that, okay, I should go inside. I have some understeer. I don't know what this guy is going to do. Let's see. So I'm going full on accelerator here. And he sees that, the understeer takes him outside. Now he has two options. Or he raises his foot, goes inside, or he goes completely outside. And he sees that there is a lot of space outside, and he goes for the outside. Now, obviously, you would say, oh, but that is, completely out of the track limits, right? Because indeed, it's out of the track limits. But here's the situation, and here's why also we changed our approach in Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we created that specific penalty system that doesn't instantly gives you, a penalty if you went outside the track, but tries to understand the situation. So if you see here, Gergo could have been full throttle, but he's always a little bit less on the throttle. He waits, look, way too low throttle, almost half the throttle here. Again, outside the track, not full throttle. And then he goes full throttle in. Now, when he does this, the system understands that, okay, you are not really gaining time here by going outside the track. And so I will let you go without any penalty, which is very important. Why? Because by choosing that line, Gergo puts into safety himself and the GT4 driver. He doesn't get any unnecessary risk. They are both into a safe situation, because look at them. Look at the distance between them. Okay, there is plenty of distance to do anything. So sometimes it's better to go outside the track if you have the space, and waste some time. Doesn't matter. The system won't give you penalty because understands that you are not gaining time, but you are safer like this. That's the whole mentality. That's why you see also real drivers sometimes they are on the limit, don't know what to do, and they say at some point, okay, let me go outside, raise my foot a little bit. And real people, real organizers and judges understand this and say, okay, yeah, you went under limit. I might give you a warning, or I might not give you nothing if I can see from the lap times and the sector times that you have gained no time at all, because it's the safest thing to do. Safety first. Okay, so let's move on. Yes, of course, it's a longer distance around the track. Now, take a look at this. That wasn't so nice. So, where are we? There's a BMW here somewhere. So, I don't know if it's this one. Yes, it's this one. Okay. So this driver sees Gergo coming in front of him. Now, he's approaching his reference point, and he's still not braking. Why don't you, or are already on the brakes? You have nothing to gain on a GT3 car, okay? So look at this situation here. Now, this situation becomes risky, really risky. Look at that in slow motion. Still, and he starts braking with a car in front of him at his usual reference point. That's an unnecessary risk. Now, it's true that probably the GT3 car will not stay in the middle because it's faster. But you never know. The GT3 car in front of you might have done a mistake or whatever, and you're going to, punt him from behind without reason. So he should have started his braking much sooner. There's no need to make such a late braking distance. I mean, he could have started braking, I don't know, for example, somewhere around here. He could have started braking here or a little bit later, but not now on his normal reference point. And in fact, what happens? It gets closer, closer, closer. Oh my God, what I'm gonna do? Luckily, Gergo is already off the brakes, but he was going outside because he understood that, oh, I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to fuck up now. So that is an unnecessary risk. Don't do that. He had nobody in front of him to gain time, and he had probably nobody behind him to lose position. So why do this? Okay, so let's go back again. Okay, so again, you can you see how how the GT3 cars can change their lines very fast because they have so much grip, right? So look at this situation, for example. So Gergo is pushing. Now normally here you go flat out and you go outside. Because of the Mercedes GT4, Gergo had to lift a little bit, and immediately as he lifts, he can change a different line and stay very close without issues on the handling of the car or the balance of the car. So look at that. Oh, inside. That's it. Now, remember what I told you before. His opponent here got some gap. Okay, so Gergo lost his pressure on his opponent in front of him. Did he go crazy? No, he just kept doing what he was doing. And what happened? Well, here we are again. Lots of traffic here, so many GT4 cars, and look, his opponent is exactly on the slow turns in the middle of the traffic of GT4 cars, which means that Gergo now can regain so much more time to his opponent, and we will see that in a minute. Hello, guys. Look at this. You see? He's back again. Outside. Completely outside. Now, as you saw, he tried outside to overtake, but he had an Alpine and Ginetta, which are extremely fast cars in terms of mechanical grip. So even a GT3 car couldn't overtake so easy. Now, that Ginetta here, which happens to be me, because I remember this situation here, is an idiot. And he doesn't really realize that the GT3 car is behind him. And what he does, what I do, is that he maintains his line all through the outside of the turn. So look at this terrible situation. Look at that. Look at how wide Gergo has to go to avoid me. Now, this is completely idiotic behavior on my side. I simply didn't understand because I was watching the Alpine behind me, and I thought that that was the Alpine, okay? And I didn't realize that instead it goes the GT3 car. And there you have it. I was doing a completely stupid thing, going wide outside because I thought, okay, I'm accelerating, the Alpine cannot, overtake me. But it wasn't the Alpine, but it was Gergo on his GT3, and just at the very last, look at this. This is ridiculous. Look at how stupid I am. So at the very last moment, I understand that, and finally I move away. I'm pretty sure Gergo here is, calling all the sense and everything, and he's not telling nice things to me right now, rightfully so. But luckily, he went outside and managed to overtake me without problems. But again, if we see what happened here from the outside, so here's the situation. Now, I've got a little bit punt from the Alpine, but that's not the problem here. Okay, that's not the excuse. I'm trying to maintain my position, and I'm going full speed, full commitment to my line because the Alpine behind me, I want to defend it. He already had punted me. Not an excuse, because Gergo, poor guy, is coming full blown, full speed ahead, and look at what I forced him to do. Okay, so here this could be a really big accident, and that would have been all my responsibility. Okay, now it's true that Gergo has the responsibility because he's coming from the outside, but he's coming from behind. But it's not on the behind anymore. I mean, he made himself really clear that, I mean, look at him. I'm here. Oh, hey, look at me. I'm here. No, look at me. He doesn't even goes inside, poor guy. Look at me. Look at me. I'm here. Look at me. Fuck it. And I'm like, oh, like that. No. So that's all on me. That's all on me. All right. So let's move on and see other situations, similar situations. Don't worry, Gergo also does something similar later. So look at the line of the Cayman here. This is perfect line, no problem. He has every right to do so because he's in front of me. Now, Gergo gets the risk and goes to the outside, and he can do it. No problem. No problem at all. Everybody was pretty safe, no issue. Again, look at him. Look at the Alpine. Okay. Now, the best thing you can do, as we said, is stay on your line. He did the whole turn as fast as he could. He stayed on his line. It is the responsibility of the much faster GT3 car to find a way through it. And by not stopping and changing lines, he gave the GT3 the impression of, okay, sure, no problem. You are doing your line. I know what the racing line is, so it's on me to find a different line. That's the whole thing, predictability. If you're doing the racing line, the car behind you knows that you're doing the racing line, and the racing line is, a known thing to everybody in the server. Everybody knows what the racing line is. So do your racing line. That makes you predictable. That's the key word here, being predictable to the cars behind you. Okay? See? Now you might think, okay, but at some point that Alpine goes a little bit too much to the left. Watch carefully what happens here. We have a car, we have an accident right here. So that Alpine says, yeah, okay, I'll do my line, I will let you pass, but I should be safe too. That's a risk that's racing, that car might have ended in the middle of the road, and the Alpine might have go completely to the right, and we might have an accident between Alpine and Gergo, the GT3, and the other car. That's racing. Obviously, mistakes will happen. Obviously, accidents will happen. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes your race is ruined. Call it a day. Tomorrow it's going to be a better day. Think positive, okay? I'm not saying that, to give you, I don't know, some kind of psychology lessons. But it is the name of the game, Racing shit happens because we are, trying to control 1.5 tons beasts with more than 300, 400, 500 horsepower at the extreme limit of adhesion of our tires. Shit happens all the day, every day. Okay, so let's move on. So again, now Gergo has some distance from his opponent, but once again, look at that. He has free air right now, and his opponent has to wait. It happens, so don't worry about it. Don't go crazy. Oh, I have to catch my opponent. It will happen. Okay, so here, let's have a look here. So Marco Robson, which by the way we're going to see this here. Marco Robson de Oliveira says, what do you recommend for when with GT4 you are fighting another GT4 car side by side, and the GT3 needs to pass. So here's the situation. The key word here is needs. The GT3 doesn't need to pass. The GT3 needs to respect. So if the GT4s are side by side, the GT3 needs to respect this and either wait, do something, I don't know, crazy about it, and I can show you stuff like that, or provoke an accident. Obviously, you have those three possibilities. My idea would be, respect the others. It's a race for everybody. So that's how it is. Um, so So here it is a situation. That's a similar situation. Now, as you can see here, we have two fights. First two cars and the second two cars. And Gergo is arriving behind the Maserati. The GT3 is way on the outside, trying to understand what to do with the other two cars here. And Gergo also has to understand what to do with the Aston in front of him. Sorry. So the Maserati really tries to get the line, but Gergo is in here because he committed to go behind the other car, and the Maserati understands this. Okay, so it understands it, so it doesn't really goes full in, and that is a good thing. Oops, we've lost the mouse. Okay. Now, Gergo is completely on costing here because he has to wait. He cannot do anything. I mean, what are you going to do here? Where do you want to go? You just have to wait. So waiting, 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 and waiting. Goes into the inside. Now, here is once again, very important. Be predictable. The Aston Martin in front of him was predictable. Followed perfectly the racing line. Everybody knows the racing line. Gergo knows the racing line. So when he sees someone following the racing line, Gergo knows, okay, I have to choose something different. Okay. But if the car in front of me is following the racing line, it means, I can trust him. Imagine what would have happened if that car decided to go into the inside, as some guys usually do. Gergo would have to, stop and brake. The Maserati behind was coming, as fast as he could. So all hell would have broken loose. So let's watch also the other GT3 car here, which is also because it is exactly what Marco asked before. So let's see what was happening here. So look at that. So the guy here, okay, overtakes, double, triple, four wide. I mean, okay, he has the power to do it, but he's coming behind those two cars, and those two cars are fighting for position. Okay, so let's see here. Right, so now we have a fight in front of us. So what this car will do? Okay. You have to wait. You have to understand. You have to. Now he is having some extra good ideas. So for example, look at how he positioned his car extremely wide. Two things might happen here. At least I believe. I mean, I would have thought the same thing if I was so good, probably. Well, first of all, as we said, always at the outside you have plenty of tarmac, so you are safe to go wide if something bad happens. Remember from the other live stream that we did that I was explaining what to do in some situations. So when you see two cars fighting, go on the outside and wait. Okay, it's safer, right? The other thing that, okay, I have a much faster car, maybe I can go on the outside of both of them. Who knows? Third situation, maybe I can do a very late apex and overtake them from the inside as those guys are battling their way towards the outside of the track. So all those three possibilities exist. Now, you might say, but Aris, I'm driving on the limit. I cannot think of all of that. That's why we're doing this video. to give you ideas. Think about them. Watch the video. Watch the video again. Watch it again. The more ideas and situations you have on your mind, the more those things will arrive to you when they appear in front of you. So let's have a look. You see that he stays a little bit on the outside, okay? And now he tries to follow this car because, it seems to be faster. But, tough luck, the other guy is coming back again. So, what to do? Frustration? Yes, of course. Angry even? Maybe. Can he do something about it? No, you have to wait. You have to wait. There's no other way to do. Nothing to do. You have to wait. That's the situation here. Those guys are battling for position. You have no right to do whatever you want, So that's it. That's racing. And that's also the excitement about it, because right now he might be angry, he might be frustrated, he might be whatever, but sure as hell his adrenaline is skyrocketing, and those emotions are what is positive and what we all want about racing. That's racing. So now you see he has to wait. There's nothing to do, at all. So that's it. Let's see this thing one more time. It's pretty nice until the end into one guy. Look at this. Let's stay on the outside. Okay, this guy is faster, so let's follow him. Oh, fuck. The other guy is now faster, so let's follow him. No, let's follow the other guy. What should I do? I don't know. Let me wait about it. Okay? And now, the fight between them is over, so now I can move forward. Okay, and now I can overtake. That's it. Now, what happened in the meantime? Let's go back again. Sorry about that. In the meantime, Gergo, which was so far away, as we said, don't worry, everybody's having problems. So, have a look at what's happening with Gergo. Now, Gergo has his own share of trouble, but fortunately for him, he didn't have as much trouble as the guy in front of him. And now, he's directly behind him in just one turn. Look at the gap, no gap. I mean, he even tries to overtake him from the outside here. He didn't make it, but there was an opportunity. So that's what I'm saying you. If your opponent's GT3 car is going away, don't get, desperate about it. Don't get desperate to follow him. You will have your opportunity. Now that was a little bit hairy here, and that is what we said before. So what is happening here? Look at that. Now here, probably Gergo should have waited, okay? But he got desperate to go and fight the other GT3. So he took a big risk to go inside and put into a bad position this pure guy on the Camaro. Now, again, as we said, it's racing. Shit will happen. Try to survive it, okay? But the more you are prepared for it, the better it is. Okay, so let's see the situation from this Camaro. I don't know if he's here or here. No, who's that guy? Actually, it's Zardier. It's Zardier. So it's Zardier who is getting, dive bombed by Gergo. Now, I'm pretty sure that Gergo already have seen that it was Zardier. We know each other. We know that, we can trust his. Actually, no, I don't trust so much Zardier because every time he kills me, but I love him so much, so who cares? So I'm pretty sure that that was also one of the reasons that he bombed him that much. So look at the situation from Zardier, from inside the car of Zardier. So he goes in, and oh my god. And now he flashes him. What are you doing? So, yeah. So, to be honest, Gergo probably pushed it a little bit too much here. That was a proper dive bomb and probably unnecessary. So, he got excited. He wanted to follow his opponent very, very closely. And he took probably an unnecessary risk. Unnecessary because we are in the middle of the race. We still have so much race to go on yet. So probably not that that good by his side. Okay, let's move ahead. Now look at this. Ooh, that was scary. So look at this situation. Now, by the way, I don't know if this is me or another guy. So let's have a look. Ginetta. No, it's not me. So this guy stays on the outside. Come on, Alpha, mate. You are crazy tonight. So he just stays on the outside. Clear line, no big deal. Now, obviously, the situation here gets completely scary because we have this poor Maserati completely 180 degrees spun, and so Gergo has to squeeze between the Ginetta, the Maserati, and the the limit of the track. So right. So what happened here? Let's go in front of Radis and see. Something happened with Radis and this Ginetta. So the Ginetta stays on the outside, and Radis has a lot of understeer here. So something probably he didn't took the turn as he wanted. So he stays on the outside. Now look at this. Now this is a problem of Radis. The Ginetta stayed on the outside, did the whole turn very nicely, but obviously the Ginetta cannot go outside the racing track. Not at all. The Ginetta has to stay on the racing track. Okay, so he stayed outside, he gave him room, and stayed inside the track. Now Radis, unfortunately, as we said, problems happen. He didn't manage to do the proper turn in and get the apex. You can see he's already quite far away from the apex here, and then he goes into severe understeer. You see how much steering input he gives. This is too much understeer right now, and the car obviously starts to washes out towards the outside of the track. There's nothing he can do now except to raise his foot and wait for the car to regain grip on the front tires. Not only that, but unfortunately, and that is only bad luck, the Ginetta is right in front of him. It's right in front of him. Okay, so he can do nothing else than stop, wait. He will have an extremely slow exit. There's nothing else he can do. So slow exit, and of course, Gergo behind him did everything perfect. He has a very, very fast exit, and obviously he goes on his side and already got him entering here. Very nice clean overtake, which was the result of a battle turn and racing line from Radis, and Gergo being there, taking up the opportunity. One of the best scenarios, taking advantage of your opponent errors. That's the best thing. So customary to flash every GT4 car? Well, not necessarily. If you are in a hurry, or if you see that the guy is ahead of you and might have not, understood what you're about to do, it's a good thing to flash. There's no big deal. Flash the guy. I mean, everybody does it. It's a good thing. You're putting yourself and the other guy into a safety position if you flash him, because you are, but flash him only if you are about to do the move. If you are if you are already decided to do the move. If you are away from him and you are flashing him just to tell him step aside because I'm arriving, that's not good. Okay, that's not good. That's not good etiquette, as we say. So again, now you see Gergo was behind the Torvinen with the Bentley, but the Bentley now has issues, so he's catching him. So as I said, don't get too excited, don't get too mental to overtake everybody instantly. Things are happening always, in mixed races. Ciao, Jose. Very nice here. Very nice here. Look at this. This is exactly what we were talking for all this hour. Um, the Camaro is following the racing line and accelerates as hard as he can on the exit of the turn. No strange lines, no, what to do, where to go. Just follow the racing line. Following the racing line, I won't stop saying it. Following the racing line makes you predictable. And if you are predictable, the guy behind you understands that he has to do something else. That's all it needs. So look at Gergo here. He sees the Camaro following the racing line. No problems. No problems at all. No guesswork. Nothing. Look at the Ginetta. Follows the racing line now. No problems. Okay. Well, that's bad. That's bad because the Ginetta was following the racing line, and at some point it decided to stay on the inside. Now that's bad because look at how big of a problem and a risky situation this is. Let's see that again because it's really, really very important. So the Ginetta follows the racing line. So Gergo now follows the Ginetta, which follows the racing line. Haha, badumtus. So now Gergo knows that the racing line goes wide, and then the Ginetta should, if the Ginetta follows the racing line, should go wide and then go back to the left again, to the left of the road, because that's the racing line. And so what Gergo does is he follows the racing line, staying behind the Ginetta here, because he expects that, okay, the Ginetta now will move, to the left, and I will go straight to the inner side of the road and overtake. But surprise, the Ginetta right on the last moment decides to not follow the racing line anymore. And that makes the Ginetta totally unpredictable. Look at this again. Look at this. Racing line, racing line, racing line, racing line, not racing line anymore. And not only that, it also breaks so much sooner. That's a big risk here. Look at this, guys. This is, there is no space for the GT3. The GT3 goes already down to over to the grass. This is the worst case scenario. Let's see it again one more. Ginetta, racing line, perfect racing line. So one expects that, okay, racing line, you're gonna go wide here and then back left, right? And the Ginetta says, oh no, I won't go to the racing line. I will stay on the inside to help you. Don't help me. Don't help me. Don't help me. Follow the racing line. Following the racing line, you remain predictable. Okay? And also, now he doesn't know what to do, panics and starts braking. Now that's... okay, this is luck. This is luck. They've managed to pull this out, but honestly, that was simply luck, So, once again, and for the nth time, follow the racing line, stay predictable. Predictable. Okay. It's okay. Again, I don't want to tell, oh, look, the driver of the Ginetta, such a bad driver. No. We should never go over there. If I may, take example for myself. People coming to the chat, we have explained some things like 100 times in the previous videos. What do I usually do? I explain them again. The sim racing community, we have to get back to the days of Grand Prix Legends, of NASCAR, where we were a small community, but everybody was trying to help everybody. Nowadays, we have become a much bigger community. New people is coming in every day from other games, and we need to help people learn. It doesn't help if we are snobbies and we're like, oh, we have talked about this 1,000 times, go fuck yourself. No, we have to help people. We have to help each other because I mean, if you don't ask, if you don't do mistakes, how are you going to learn things, new things? So the Ginetta driver is not a bad driver. Probably his first, mixed race. He never had a GT3 driver closing up to him so fast. So he did a mistake. I did a mistake before. So, and I'm explaining this stuff. So shit happens, as we said. The more we watch those things, and the more we help each other, and the better the racing quality becomes. Okay. Okay. So again, no big deal here. Easy to overtake the McLaren, but obviously you have to wait for the Aston, which rightfully follows the racing line. You see how predictable was at the exit? No problem. Now, look at this. This is very interesting here. This is very interesting. Look at this. Now, obviously, Gergo tries to cut the Audi and overtake it, all right? But Gergo is not stupid. He's experienced sim racer. He's a good sim racer. And he sees that he has no way to catch the Audi before entering the turn. And so the Audi starts to follow the racing line, okay? Now, the Audi starts to follow the racing line, goes for the apex here. See what Gergo does? Completely off throttle, starts even to brake. Why? Because it is predictable what the Audi is going to do. It's going to follow the racing line. It's going to hit this apex and then the next one. That's predictability. He's behind the Audi. He has to wait it because it is absolutely certain that the Audi is going to hit the two apexes because he's in front of it and there is only one line to follow here. So what happens? What you have predicted. Now, he can try and go the outside and look at how fast he can go at GT3 car on the outside. That's how you do it. This is one of the best examples. Okay? There's another thing. Now, I'm stopping for a moment here because Juan says he thinks people move off the racing line probably because of what's done in Formula One under blue flags. Now, here's the situation. Well, first of all, Formula One is Formula One, just Formula One, okay? And you don't have many laps and overtakes to do, okay? You have a small amount of overtakes to do. And Formula One, you might laugh about it, but believe it or not, might be, agree or disagree with me, but at least in theory, and for sure for 90% of, of the drivers, we are talking about the best 2024 drivers in the world. Best 20 or 24 drivers in the world. It might not be all of them, but trust me, they are the best. And they're the best because to arrive to Formula One, they have done all kinds of racing series in their career, even if they are 18 years old. They have done everything and they managed to drive, lap after lap with consistency, a car that does from minimum 3 Gs to 6 Gs, lateral, longitudinal, at every corner or braking zone. This is mind-blowing. People watching Formula One on TV and say, oh, yeah, that's boring. They're doing that. But if you just stop for a moment and think about it, that, your head weighs, I don't know, 6 kilos, something like that. And when you are braking, it's 36 kilos, 64, whatever. I mean, that's mind-blowing. And they manage to brake at the limit and overtake and drive, and it's the speed of Formula One, especially nowadays Formula One, is mind-blowing. Okay, so yes, of course those guys know when to pull aside and let the other guys go through. They also have radios that they are, they're telling them, the number one driver, the P1 is arriving, and so on and so on. So lots of different things happening. In mixed races of GT racing, you have so many overtaking going on that it doesn't pay to move aside. You will be stopped every time. I mean, look at how many cars we have here, and the GT3 will overtake all of them. So it's a different situation, and you have many customer drivers. They're not, professional drivers. All of them, actually, more than half, they are customer drivers. So here in GT racing, it pays to stay predictable, okay, and let the faster car decide what it wants to do, okay. All right, so let's move on. Now look at here. Look at here what is happening. Am I the guy here? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I'm the one. Here I am again. No, let's move to Gergo instead. So Gergo is following me. Now this time, I make it clear that, I'm going to the outside. Now look at this. Now I'm keep accelerating, but I'm making clear by moving to the outside that, what, pick the inside and just move away. Now this is a situation of experience. Now I just told you, okay, don't move, stay predictable. But in this situation, you know that this curve here is flat out, and the GT3 can stay easily on the inside. So when you are moving like this, you are saying to the GT3 car, you know what, just go, I won't be here for you. But to do so, you have to remain flat out, you don't have to raise your foot, and you have to know what you're doing. So generally, I would say, don't do that if you don't know what you're doing and if you don't know who you have behind you, okay. Now again, in this situation, I have behind me Gergo. I know that he will go for the apex. I will just stay a little bit wider for the apex so that he has all the free air to go inside like this. Easy. Okay? But that's a specific situation. Martin. So, what happened here now? So Gergo is about to do his own mistake. Nobody's perfect. Gergo is here. I didn't see. Oh, hi, Gergo. How you doing, mate? Cool. Okay, so Gergo now is mistaking. Ooh, big oversteer. He had to catch the car, and now he's going wide. He's going very wide. Now, what is happening now? So Gergo goes back in, and ooh, that's a mistake. That's both an accident and a mistake from Gergo, and an accident from my side. So let's have a look here this time. So this time, this is the view from my side. Okay. So I see Gergo just disappearing, and I'm following Vons here, which we had an amazing fight, which I have to thank him for the amazing fight that we had in the last laps. So Gergo now is like, adios, because he cannot control the car. And I can see Gergo clearly. He's, going outside. He won't be able to maintain control. So what I do, I focus on the car in front of me, because I say, okay, this guy is gone. He will, wait and get in slower. Now, unfortunately, I cannot see Gergo anymore. Okay, and I'm focusing directly on Vons in front of me, and I still cannot see Gergo. And probably also Gergo cannot see me. He cannot see me. Now, we should have been, experienced enough to understand that, okay, the other guy hasn't vanished and Gergo hasn't vanished, so we should be somewhere there. But we are not Formula One drivers. In the end of the story, we are just, sim racers, not even the best of the sim racers. We are good enough, but, we're not the best of the aliens, or we don't have that much of racing experience. So each one of us thinks, I'm free. Okay, full attack. I will go in, and Diego thinks, okay, I will regain position, and I'm thinking, okay, full attack. I have some space here. I have to go get closer to Vons. And at some point, I see on my... Why am I going wide here? Look at this. I'm going wide because I see on my radar, because we cannot see the radar here, I see on my radar that someone is approaching from the other side, and I'm like, fuck Gergo. Not fuck Gergo, but fuck Gergo. so, so at this point, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm trying to go a little bit wide. I don't know what to do exactly. So, okay, I will go wide. And obviously, the same thing happens here to Gergo, which is like, okay, let me go in, let me go in, let me go in. I mean, oh, what is that, Ginetta? Where is this go? Oh, it's Aris, you know. So he tries to stay on the grass, and oh, this is one of the classical things of shit happens, but also, you know what? You have gone wide outside the track. You have to rejoin the track carefully. In this occasion, it's more shit happens. We couldn't see each other, and we thought, okay, either the Aris or Gego, waited, and unfortunately, we were at the same point. Now, luckily enough, again, we were using the radar, so Gergos tried to stay on the grass, and I tried to go outside. But shit happens always, you know. Admit it. Okay, you can get also angry, of course, because we are humans, and we're like, oh, what the fuck, stuff like that. But then again, okay, forget it. Let's move on. And of course, yeah, we move on. Obviously, Gergo can overtake here easily, and I can get back, on my racing. So one of the things here is, indicators. Now, we promote the use of indicators, and we say use the indicators to show where you're going. That's correct, but it's also not always easy. I mean, I prefer you guys to stay safe and in control of the car instead of like, oh, where I'm going, all the indicate, what should I, oh, fuck, boom, So if you can, beforehand put an indicator and show where you want to stay, that is the best thing to do. But if you're inside the turn and you're trying to understand what to do, I mean, forget about the indicators. Just stay safe. Safety first. Oh, Zordier is here. Hello, mate. Oh, spoiler. Zordier is spoilering everything. Oh, let me see from Zordier. Where is he? Oh, he's here. On the Camaro, he's drifting again. That's why he's so slow. Every time he's like, ah. Yeah, look at him. Again. Alright, so Gergo, he's approaching. And Gergo's like, attack, full attack, full attack. I have to get to number one first. The big one. Now, again, you can see here how Gergo shows the Maserati what he intends to do. Now you can see here, before the braking zone, Gergo says, you know what, I'm going. So the Maserati stays on the outside, and the GT3 goes away. I don't even want to know who that pink, that pink Alpine was, because I just don't want to know. I have an idea, but I don't want to know. Okay, once again, Gergo easily overtook also the Mercedes. We saw the first one already, Zordier. Hi, mate. So let's move a little bit forward. Right. Something tells me that he will dive bomb him again at the same turn again, as usual. Now here is interesting because you can see Gergo going to the inside and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And, he shouldn't. But it's Gergo. In front of us we have Zordier. I mean, he even told him, I'm gonna do it, So it is a good thing to show yourself and, say, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna do it. That's not the perfect turn to do so. But who cares? It's Zordier. I mean, he has to suffer. So Boom! Dive bomb like no tomorrow and Jesus, what was that? Come on, guys. I mean, seriously, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, let's see that again. But I mean, honestly, like 10 meters and like, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna get in. Let's see that from inside Zardier. All right, yeah. So here he is. And he's like, okay, what should I do? I have to make the turn anyway. Whatever. It was like, ah, and of course he's flashing. But dev hack, so we don't care about it. And if he doesn't like it, we will ban him. I know it. All right, so here it is. We are the last lap. So because we are almost on the last lap here, I will actually go directly on the last lap, switch on to me, and now where am I? I'm like here somewhere, and I want you to show you, and especially show Kevin, how you do fuel estimation, because obviously I'm fighting as hell. I'm giving all I have to the car, and unfortunately it doesn't show here how much fuel I have because it's not my replay, but we are right on the last lap, last turn. I try. Vons amazingly defends his position excellently, so I have no way to go. I'm trying, and you can see now the revs here. Here is the end of the lap, and I have no fuel anymore. And Kevin, that is how you do it. Yes. Efficiency.